are at the Purple and Gold Table of Talk. This is the first one of 2023. Excited about this edition. We are talking about fatherhood and mentorship. This is very big. I have two guests with me that are both involved with their families. Great role models as far as the fatherhood space. I'm excited to hear where they're coming from and opinions and just the differences and also the similarities and how we can just come together and help those in the same position. Even those who are upcoming in this position. We have a lot of young fathers. We have a lot of old fathers, right? We got people who may be planning to be a father. So these conversations are important and imperative to make sure that we're helping guide everyone, right? There's no right way to do this deal, but conversations like this can definitely help you along the way. So
it can be a good resource.
Yes, most definitely. So thank you all for joining us, right? I'll go ahead and let you all introduce yourselves. To my left, I'll go ahead and start right here.
All right, man. My name is Cortez Mosby. I'm an economics teacher as well as a personal trainer. I'm also a part of a group called NPA PAC, which is we take the youth around the nation that play football, and what we like to do is teach them about the game itself, the NIL deal, stuff like that they have going on now, just educating them about how to be a professional now while I wait to get to that step. So appreciate you having me on the platform.
Man, most definitely, bro. Most definitely.
Well, my introduction ain't gonna be so long. My name Cory, Wright. You know, I'm a dad of two boys.
Okay.
I'm in law enforcement here in Chattanooga, but yeah, that's just what I do. Most of who I am is being a father. So
understood. Same here. So my name is Haven Nelson. I'm the father of 4 children. So me and my wife have 4 kids that live in the house. My daughter's 15. I have a 5-year-old. I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. So. And I'm done. I promise you that. So.
I noticed you put emphasis on that 3-year-old.
Yeah. That's it. That's the last one. Yeah. The last. All right.
With my situation, like I said, I've been through the range of fatherhood from both sides. Me and my wife, we have 3 beautiful children together, and then I also have one that I had in a previous situation. Actually, my boys are 9 days apart. They're both 8.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I had a lot of growth and understanding in life.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's good, man. Yeah, so today's topic is really just really being the king of the castle. And we'll talk about different elements of that. I think that what you said was just very important, right? Because you just talked about the dynamic of your castle. And you mentioned yours, I talked about mine. All of them are different dynamics.
Right.
So when you look at like the king of the castle, your household, what do you feel like is the stamp on that? Like how you can say, okay, this is a stamp. This is how I know I'm the king of where I am.
It's gonna start with for me, and I can't say I'll be my spirituality. I know that I'm led by God, the Most High. So I know when it comes to order, it's just the structure that's set. It starts with me, my leadership, my example. If I set the example, everyone will follow. Don't look for no one else to have the result. It starts with me, and I'm always the one that they look for to solve the problem. I'm a problem solver.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? That's the stamp on it. Like you said, as a man, and my boys, I don't expect them to do that yet. Why? Because they're young men that are learning from one. Right. But once they become a man, it's on them to solve problems. Because when we look at life, the world, when a woman comes to you now, why?
Right.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's something that she needs you to fix. She don't want your excuse. She don't want what could. Nah, I need that for sure. It's gonna happen. Right. You know what I'm saying? There's something going on, babe. Yeah. You get it done. And you know that as a man, you don't know how at the time, but we don't show that we don't know you. Exactly. But we know at some point we gonna get it done. And so that's how I stand. Like just believing in yourself, sticking to what you know is true, right. Standing on what you have to. But again, I think also the respect of a woman. A lot of us have been through different things where that also comes where men also run that a little differently. Like me, I can't say that I'm a man that thinks he should run his woman or anything, but I don't discredit a man who also has that idea. You know what I mean? Me and my woman, she's her own person. So we work together. I call myself the sun and she's the moon. She changes and I got to stay consistent every day. Some days I shine, some days I don't. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I stamp it, just making sure that I maintain self, gravity, man, whole, keeping everything in balance.
Man, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep, bro. Yeah. I know for me, bro, just piggybacking off of that is what stands out as leadership. You know, you talked about being an example, and that's huge. Like you can't lead, like you can't expect anyone to follow you if you're not a leader yourself.
Facts.
Right? But within the leader though, you got to make sure your tribe is good. Mm-hmm. Nobody's gonna follow a leader if they're not good themselves. If their leader's not looking out for them. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a big part of being the king of the castle. Is understand that people within the castle, you have to cater to their needs.
Yeah.
Everybody look at that king as the macho persona, right? Like I'm running this, I'm running this, I'm running that. But the responsibility of the king was to make sure the village was good. That's the responsibility of the king.
Properly.
So if the village not good, are you the king of your castle? You feel me?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can't. And if the village isn't good, you are gonna have a short reign.
There's
a rain coming down.
Yes, sir.
We don't want that, right? So yes, I definitely feel like the leadership and making sure that your people inside the castle are good, which can be true because you got to put on a lot of hats with that, right? You got to. Everybody in there got different personality.
Oh yeah.
You know,
one thing about having kids, none of them gonna be the same. None of them. All personalities gonna be this. So you just gotta cater. Well, I wouldn't say cater to them, but you just gotta be aware of everybody's different personalities.
Yeah. So all right. So with your situation with the different personalities, elaborate on maybe just a small example of how your kids may be a little bit different and what you found best to navigate through.
Well, I have a 7-year-old. I have 2 boys. You know, I'm a single father. I just recently been divorced, and I got 50-50 custody of my boys. So I had to learn real quickly, being a father of 2, they're different, and accept those differences. A lot of times, I know a lot of people, a lot of black fathers have difficulties trying to accept the difference in each child. And so, like you said, you just got to get to know everybody and one another. My 7-year-old, he's a little more high-strung. He's a little bit more serious. Whether for my 3-year-old, I got to put a little bit more action to him. You know, I got to talk to him. He's that fun-loving. You know, I got to, like I said, put hands-on with him. And they're very much different night and day. You know, one is serious and one is not. So that, you know, you just got to know your household, know your community that you're serving. That's my community. You feel me? So
that's amazing. That's good, bro. That's good. Anything on that yourself?
As far like you said, like the different personalities, how I try to make sure I maintain is I understand that there's a time together, but there's also a time that has to be separate. So, of course, we had a time where we all kick it, we all vibe, you know what I'm saying? But then I make sure that Hunter gets his time where he gets to draw. He has to be artistic. He doesn't have to be the older big brother he always is and helps out all the time. So he might go on the road with me one time. And then when Landon comes, Landon is the son that I have that doesn't live with me. He lives in Memphis with his mom. So when he comes, our job is to make sure that he feels included, like he's never not been a part. So when he comes, he makes sure he gets his personal time because he ain't seen me for a while. So we go on our walks and he gets to explore and point at his trees like he loves. And then, like I said, we come back and we make sure that we all hang out together and he sees that, oh, I'm a part of something. Chase is my youngest son, my lifeline. My act just like his daddy. You know what I'm saying? I got short temper, but I'm happy all the time. But if I don't get my way, I don't want to talk to you. So he gives me the exact opposite of everything I didn't think I would see in me. Again, he's giving it to me. And then my baby girl. I've learned something with men and daughters. I think every man needs one. I didn't have as much respect for women. And I went through some things, of course, childhood trauma that kind of affected it. But with me having my daughter for the first time, I understood the appearance that I was to a woman. Like I always tried to be something to my wife, but I could never be what her father was. I ain't got to try that with my daughter. I'm the one man she needs. I'm the one man I'm looking for. I'm the one man that I'm searching for. So I don't have to get that void I was trying to kind of fulfill with my wife at one point. It's finally fulfilled. And I think that's also helped us balance our relationship, man. So,
that's amazing. That's one thing I look for. I wanted a daughter. You feel me? Because one thing about it, them little
ain't
boys,
too late, bro.
I don't know.
You feel me?
Like you said, that 3-year-old.
You can make that work,
that
bro.
3-year-old, he the real. But seriously, them little girls, you're their first everything, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I look at the father and daughter relationship. Them daughters gonna make sure they daddy straight.
Yes, sir.
For the rest of their life. Now, them little boys on the hood, they gonna make sure they mama straight.
Hey, you believe that, bro?
I know that for a fact. The way
my daughter hard on me, dog.
I don't know. How my boys look at me, I know I'm going in the nursing home.
Hard on me, bro.
Yeah.
We gonna see. I'm gonna hope that stands, bro.
No, but
we also have to accept the things that we do to our children too. So you know what I'm saying, like sometimes if we don't give them what they think they've had, like I say, ain't no book to this. When we first started, I'm a way better father today, and I'm gonna be a better father tomorrow.
Man,
I got more time to do it. So you know what I'm saying. That's also part of just the process, dog.
Facts. Nah, I feel you, bro. That's what they tell you, right? Like, it's supposed to be stamped. The daughter gonna take care of you a different way, and they love different, right? Mm-hmm. So I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. As far as relatability, though, like, so all these different personalities, right? Mm-hmm. But how do you juggle that time with? I know you said you spend time with your kids. I'm pretty sure that you had to be able to understand the difference in personalities, right? Mm-hmm. But how y'all find it best to juggle the time when you have a job, right? When you have other things going on, you know what I'm saying? You got the kids, like, how are you juggling when you still making sure you put that one-on-one time? Is it a schedule? Is it like, how do y'all make sure you get that time in?
Well, for me, I know I'm not really a organized schedule person. With my kids, it's my priority. One thing about it, I'm gonna put them babies first. I'm gonna make sure they good, because one thing, the most valuable thing in life is time, and that's the time you spend with your kids. You can't get that back. So I make that a priority. I make sure they straight and situated first before I make any other previous engagements or anything in the future. I just make sure I keep the kids in mind when moving forward. So I mean, like I said, that's my lifeline. My kids, my everything.
Understood.
Like for me, man, it's definitely manager. I ain't gonna lie. Like just learning that, like you said, we take on many hats. So one thing I've learned, and I take a good brother by the name of Rick Jones has actually said this to me. You got to be the tightest man in your household. And when he said it to me, I was like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, why do I have to be the, because of course we come into with this young husband mindset or this young leader mindset. Like, I run it, it's me when I say it go. Meanwhile, like you said, I got to make sure that the people that I run are okay.
Come on now.
So
the village good.
So that's what that's basically what he was saying in another way. Like, dog, at the end of the day, though, if they ain't good, you ain't gonna be good. So what it matter? Yeah. So like you said, for me it is managing, making sure, because I have so many hats that I do hold. Yeah. Being a teacher, a trainer, an entrepreneur, a husband, a father. Like you said, so many hats that the only way I can is to manage, because I know that somebody got to take a little slack sometime. Yeah. And I need to know when you taking that slack so I can reabsorb. Oh, so you ain't been getting time? Okay, let's fix this week. We're going to get you there. Oh, what you say? I ain't took you out? Oh, you right. Let me get. So I do need to be adjusted and fixed, but I think that's the great part about me being a leader. I'm willing to be checked.
Man, listen, we got to, we're going to repeat that quote, because I really like that, bro. You have to be, I'm going to let you repeat. You have to be the what?
I don't even know.
The tiredest man in your household.
Straight up.
Oh, yeah.
You feel me? Like,
that's nonstop, man.
That's big.
It's
that's
nonstop.
big. You know what I'm
the
saying?
clock.
Like, it's round the clock. If you not working harder than people you're supposed to be leading, how can you expect them to follow you? You feel me?
Right.
And that's just real. So that's big, bro. That's big. Now, as far as household dynamics, right? Like we just talked about. So my daughter is outside of my wife as well, right?
Copy.
You feel me? And I know you were open about your situation. You're going to a divorce, you feel me? You about to have the kids where I know you got joint custody.
Joint custody, 50-50.
50-50. You know what I'm saying? So like, what have y'all found best to deal with not deal with, but to make sure that the outside factor, right? Like balancing having a relationship with another woman that's not in the household with you, right? Mm-hmm. You feel me? Because and then also that child that's still part of your castle. You know what I'm saying? They might go outside the walls, but they still part of the castle. You feel me? So like, how do you all balance that?
For me, man, I got a great partner. Shout out to my wife, Brianna. She's my best friend. So with her understanding the family dynamic and knowing what's important to the man and making sure that she holds me the way that she holds me accountable, she makes sure that that child on the outside is also being thought about at all times. Yeah. So again, she makes it easy for me, because I have talked to some men where that's not the case, where you are getting a little slack because that is the situation that you have, and that like you said, that then put strain and stress on you, because you're still trying to figure out a whole. And it's really hard for a man to understand how to manage really two households, but you really got to learn how to communicate where it's not too much, it's not over the top, but then that go back to respecting the one that's in order. I play chess. You protect the queen. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it go. If it's not okay with her, it's not okay, just like she checks with me. So I maintained it by communication.
So what and when you say like you protect the queen, right? So what you saying is you make sure your queen is straight.
Yeah, with any decision that's being moved or made. Right. What I mean by, like, if I make a decision, of course, I'm not gonna make it without letting her know or running it by her. it's gonna be an included situation. Hey, babe, I feel like this is what I need to be doing this weekend. I need to head to Memphis to see him.
Yeah, but she's usually supportive. That's what you're saying. So it makes it. That's
makes
great.
it smooth.
That's smooth.
Yeah.
That's smooth.
It comes with the communication.
Right.
It helps
That's
out a
big.
lot.
Yeah,
That's
man.
big.
So like I said, me having that, and then also with the mother that lives in Memphis, her being willing, like they work together now. Like the other day, I didn't have to say anything about. She want Jasmine. That's the name of my child's mother. Mother of my child in Memphis. So Jasmine wants to take Landon to a Lego event. Right. I'm at work.
Yeah.
I ain't got the time to talk about it or discuss it. Right. Now, of course, the mature man is like, man, y'all could talk amongst each other, and you would love for that perfect situation to happen, right? That wouldn't have happened 8 years ago.
Of course, yeah.
It happened
that
now.
Maturity, yeah.
It took time.
So it happens now. So yeah, like go back to that. So now they're willing to communicate, which makes it easier because if the child really is what comes first, if it's really about the child, you got to put them grown differences that you don't like about each other to the side anyways. It's called a sacrifice.
Yeah.
So luckily I have two women that understand and they love the child so much that we sacrifice our own differences to just make sure that those kids are held up foremost first.
Right.
But it wasn't always that way. It was definitely a time where stuff was rough, it was ragged. I wasn't being the leader I was supposed to be, nor the man I was supposed to. I'm trying to do this, and the things that men told me when I was younger was the best way.
Yeah, understood. Understood.
And now growing into it and making the mistakes and having to go through that experience myself, did I only come to my own intuition of understanding how to manage. You know what I'm saying? So I had to make the mistakes to get that. Like communication is key, for sure.
And that's big, bro. Like that communication helped them understand that. And I'm speaking of your situation that it's still like you still the head of that castle, right? Mm-hmm. Like in all situations, they all part of that castle to some extent.
Yeah, it's extended family.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that's
Like,
all it is.
It's good family, good faith in the book, man. Men had families and then someone would leave. But when they left, that person still was managed and taken care of. That man would still make sure that they were okay. So it's still your responsibility. Just because you're not with a woman doesn't mean that it's not your responsibility. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. Again, I don't discredit any man that has a different thought than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The idea, that's for me because that what makes me morally at peace in that whole. You know what I'm saying? I can't morally live knowing that someone's out there and I'm not doing anything. It's just me though, bro.
Let me ask you this, 'cause I know we talk about communication. So as far as communicating with the kid, this is totally different what we were just discussing, but just as far as vulnerability as a man, right, with the kids. So when you're communicating with your children, how vulnerable do you find yourself being? Having two boys, right? I know it's that persona, like you want to still be, where they not being too soft, or you don't want to show that you look a certain way. So how are you?
Well, I try not to put a cap on it because, like I said, not everybody's the same. So you're going to have to approach every situation differently. It's going to definitely take emotional awareness. Like when I'm talking and communicating with one child, I got to understand, it's levels that I can communicate for them to understand what I'm trying to convey to them, whether it's emotional or if it's informational. But that's the biggest thing, just having that emotional awareness.
Understood. All right, that's what's up. I was just curious about that. Now you say like emotional or like informational, right? So you saying like, because you say your kids totally different. So one of them you could be a little bit more like
a little bit more direct, and
okay.
so I just try to manage it the best way possible. My 3-year-old, he's very articulate, so I can basically have a base conversation with him without trying to hamper it or damper it down too much. But I also got to keep in mind he's 3 years old, so I got to keep it at a 3-year-old level. With my 7-year-old, he's a lot more emotional, so therefore I have to take the understanding like an approach with him, what I'm gonna say to him, how I'm gonna convey it, or whatnot. So I mean, it's just knowing your family, knowing each child. Just trying to communicate that.
That's good, man. And so I know, a big question, one of the biggest ones is finances, right? That's a big deal when it comes to a household. Yeah. All right? So how much money is enough money to be considered king of the house, of your kingdom? Repeat that. How much money is enough money to be considered king of your kingdom?
Well, if we talking about kingdom and being the king of your palace, ain't no dollar amount on that.
All right.
Ain't no dollar amount on there. You can't be replaced. What I do and what I provide, ain't no monetary amount put on that. You know, so I don't necessarily think, hey, this amount will make you the king or whatnot. No, it's what you do.
That's real.
How you provide.
Yeah.
You know, one thing as a father, I always perceive you got to be a provider and protector. Well, a provider, you ain't just providing financial. You got to be there emotionally. I mean, just it's all types of things. Like you said, we wear many hats, and so I think a lot of people get that misconception. Well, I pay this, I pay that, and so I'm good. That's not necessarily correct because it takes a lot more. It takes a lot more than money.
That's real.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. So my thing is, it's all what it comes to is wants and needs. Like every person is different. You know what I mean? So when it comes to it, if you're with a person and finance is the major thing, maybe you do have to have that number, that 6-figure or whatever the case is. But if you're looking for a person that just wants somebody that's emotionally stable and knows how to lead and understands that money, we can make that together. That can be one. We ain't got to put no cap on that. We're limitless when it comes to that. It can be a little different. So, like you say, it just depends on the person. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, like you say, it's nothing wrong with knowing what you want. If a person says, hey, I need this to be made a year, that's within the right and responsibility of them to be able to say that. But I don't have one for me. Again, mine is a result. When she say, hey, I ain't been having enough on this, that means we need some more income. Say, but I don't look at it as a problem. I look at it as I have to find a solution. So
Understood.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I totally agree, bro. Like, I feel like that's, especially now, man, it's expectation is high. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of that. I was at we did the last Purple and Gold table talk. We were talking about the dynamic of like feeling like you're not enough, right? And the thing of money always being thrown at you, bro. You gotta be rich. You gotta be this. You gotta have this. You gotta have that. But being a provider, like you said, is more than that. You know what I'm saying? You could be the richest person in the world and still be poor. You know what I'm saying?
I was just when you said that just came to mind. I mean, what are we rich off of? What are we trying to attain? I mean, in my eyes, I'm rich off life, memory, love. I mean, none of that can compare. You know, you got these memories that you make with your kids and the love. It's nothing I can tell you right now. Making $1 million, I haven't made $1 million, but making $1 million don't feel as good as that love when you walk in the house and your kids say, Mommy, Daddy, I love you. Hey, how you doing?
Thanks. Right.
I mean, it's nothing to compare to that.
Right.
Yeah, man. Like you gotta understand. Like, if you want for money, it's gonna be my time. And
people don't realize that, bro.
And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of women don't kind of see that. Like, they feel like I can get the man with the money and the man with the time. But nah, I would have to go through the struggle. It's called scarcity, man. Like, scarcity. I have to find that out. It's a limited thing. I only have so much time, but I can make unlimited money. You know what I mean? But like you said, my age runs out daily. So it's a value that I can't give back. And a lot of people just, like you said, they don't look at it and see that totality of their whole situation right there.
As you get older, you realize time is the most valuable thing on this earth. That's it. Time is.
Yeah.
That's real, bro. So I wanted to definitely touch on that because I know that's something that a lot of people struggle with, especially being a man of a household, feeling like when you talk about being a breadwinner, bringing home the bacon, putting the food on the table, so like all these things. And I don't negate those things, right? I still feel like you have to provide to some extent.
Of course.
But there's not a set number of, like, you don't want to kill yourself with that drive. Oh, I got to get rich. I got to put my family up. I got to do this, do that. Because that could lead you to stress. Most definitely. I've had 50-50 custody of my daughter. So I had my daughter when I was 17, bro. And I've had 50-50 since then. And it went through some struggles, right? Just because of just being young. I think it was just immaturity, right, on both sides to some extent. But and I recently got, not recently, but for about the last 4 years, I've had full custody. But I remember before that even happened, that situation happened, I went for full custody maybe a couple years before and was like denied, right? Like you said, they made you fill all this stuff, whatever. You got to prove all these things, whatever it may be, even though you could tell the situation or where the child should be. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, like, because of that, we went through my daughter, not even me, my daughter went through a more traumatic situation. Now I have full custody. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate, bro, that the court system is so hell bent on not giving the father the rights, right? Like the extra, right? Like we got to go through these loopholes to prove, like, hey, we can provide and probably put a better situation than what they would be in if they stayed there, or at least 50-50. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But yeah, bro. So that was good. That was good, bro.
Yeah, man. And then like just like that totality of, like you said, a man being in his child's life, that's a balance. So like it's needed, and if a child is really the most important thing, we got to be honest. A lot of children don't get what they need because consistency is also a part of that. Consistency. You learn from a pattern, which becomes a behavior. So a lot of kids that are getting put in that system, and that, I ain't gonna lie to you, dog, I didn't fight, so I don't have the 50-50. Whatever she went and did to me, I left it at that. For one, the fear of not understanding the system. Now I get it, of course, and we've talked about it, things we might end up having to do or go forward. But being afraid up front made me hands off. Now, of course, I still picked them up and I paid and all the time, but I was behind for the first 2 years probably. I wasn't caught up. I got thrown on and not making enough already. So now you have the hatred inside of you not understanding, because as a man learning in this world, I didn't have nothing to start with. You already taken for what I'm trying to get.
See, that's what crazy with me, bro. Like, so you get hit with that old back child support stuff, right? And you been there. You feel me? Like, you been getting your child. You been doing that. And what's crazy is, so I give people advice like, listen, man, you might want to just go ahead and put yourself on some type of child support.
Yeah, straight up.
Like, let me tell you that. Go ahead and put yourself on some child support. What happened is when they get upset or feel some type of way, they put you on that. Boy, you're going to owe so much money.
So much
you
back.
Can't go out the country. You can't do these different things because of one emotional decision one day, and they want to go file some paperwork.
Yes.
You feel me?
So, and that's the craziest thing, right? So we are supposed to be protecting this child and making sure this child is for the better. Yet you will put what's important to the child in a situation that is unbearable. Hard for him to get out, which also does what to the child? Handicaps.
That's what I always said. I said, man, it don't make sense for you to be put on these outlandish amounts of child support to really be a burden on the father. How you think that's gonna come off when the father's trying to be a father? You feel what I'm saying?
And to the fact, to those fathers who are in their children's life now, we all know some instances where you don't have something.
Yeah, it's different.
That's different. But if you actively, should child support should not be used as a weapon. Correct. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody wins, especially that child. Especially that child.
And just being honest, no man that is involved in a child life, like, okay, let's be honest. Did you have a problem? Do you have a problem paying to support your child?
No, I didn't have a problem.
Not at all.
So we don't mind supporting the child. That's not the problem. It's the fact that you force me. Like, no man, like, you just emasculate me. Like, I'm a man. Like, I don't like to be forced. Because in life, I have a choice. God gave me one, but you don't give me one. Now, you did take a right then. Because a God-given natural right, a right that I was born with, I know
my birthright.
So that's the part I disagree with. Again, because it's all emotion based. Again, she's admitted it, and most of them will admit it at some point. I felt some type of way at the moment, but your one simple moment, just like my one moment with you being careless, that has cost me my life, you've also cost me another part of my life.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying, we just start losing things. You know what I'm saying? So men, and that's why I take the accountability though and the responsibility. So what is a man now teaching his son? What is sex? How do you use it? Do you use it for pleasure? Do you use it for making life?
Recreation.
What its purpose truly is.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Again, I was taught by men that shit.
Come on now.
Okay. How many you get, dog? Dog, how many you got? So, dog, don't tell me that, dog. Don't. Be honest with me, dog. What have you been through that would help me, dog?
Exactly.
So, that's the type of brother I am. I'm going to make sure that the mistakes that I've made, no other brother has to make.
I have to go through that.
So many have, right? So, why allow them to keep making it? So, my son, when I make the choice to have a wife, I can't be selfish. But I teach them that because I didn't know that. I got a wife. I still was selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like just the things in life that we learn. A single man does not have the same mindset as a family man.
No.
So we got to start talking in that dynamic. A single woman doesn't have the same mindset as a woman that wants to be a wife. So we got to start putting all that stuff in the category and making us work like that, man. We really do. We really do.
That's dope. That's good, bro. That's good, man. Y'all got anything y'all want to add? Any other comments, remarks?
I mean, I'm an open book. I mean, we can sit here and we can talk all day. Man.
Any questions from the audience over there? Y'all got anything we haven't mentioned yet? Anybody want to throw out anything?
I had a question.
Okay.
Listen to you speak. It sounds like there is a importance on picking the right female. Could any of you elaborate on that?
I totally agree.
That's a great point.
I totally agree. Again, so it's just us not understanding the life cycle. Why do we pick women when we first pick them?
From a
temptation.
From a visual aspect at first.
I never asked you about your background check of how was your childhood? Was your father there?
Exactly.
Do you understand how men really work?
Yeah.
When I get upset, will you understand what it looks like?
What emotional traumas do you have? Can you communicate with me when you're upset? You know, little things like that. What we should be asking, the most important things. But we're human. And so I say with things like we're on the job learning. We're learning as we go. Yeah. I mean, it's no perfect answer to it. So.
Nah, definitely. But again, it's the job and responsibility, in my own opinion, is to make sure that your children, my son is going to understand the things I've been through. So why? He don't have to go through them. Because if I let him go through them, I'm the fool. Yeah. So like I said, let's just start being honest with our children. Don't lie to them like marriage is easy. Stop lying.
Yeah.
Tell your child honestly, if you decide to be married, it is work every day. This is something that never stops. And if you are a person in life right now that is selfish, don't choose to be married. It is a choice. So you can't fault someone else for the choice in which you made. I don't want to do right no more. Well, you chose to tell me you would. I never asked you to. Right. You know what I mean? So the commitment again. Making sure that men understand what a commitment truly is. You know what I'm saying? So that even that when it comes to the choosing of a woman, that's your responsibility. God gave you that. He gave you that. And you just happen to choose in an unwisely way.
See, and I like what both of you all touched on as far as the past, right? So when you're picking a woman, choosing a woman, right? And she's choosing you as well. It's not just one side.
Of course.
You want to talk, like, really knowing the past of where they've been before, right? How they grew up, these type of different things. And I don't think it's a factor of like, okay, well, hey, you might not know how to understand me because maybe your father wasn't, but it's about like really like, well, it's an opportunity to have those conversations about, listen, that TV stuff you saw, you feel me? Like, that's cool. But I'm gonna show you. I know what a man needs to lead a house, right? Let me show you that. If you didn't have it, let me show you these type of things. But I feel like on top of that, when you're looking to choose a spouse, it's the past, but also the future. We all gonna grow. You feel me? Like either it's gonna be together or apart.
Yeah, facts.
So you have to understand. Okay, this is the past. Of course, we got these dynamics, but also where do I see this person growing? You feel me? Like, do I see this person growing into the type of mother I want them to be? On her end, do I see him growing into the type of father? Is he the type of father I want him to be? Is he going to get there? Those type of things. Spouse, communication, like all these different things. So to answer the question out here in the audience, I think it's my personal opinion, where you've been and where I see you going. That's going to determine we're going to grow together, grow apart, and make sure we stick together as a family.
I can't date your potential. I love you to death. Yeah. I can't date your potential. Your action is gonna do it for me because you gonna tell me you gonna do it.
Actions determine the potential. That's what I mean.
So like, when I meet you, right? Yeah. You can tell me you headed this way, but if you ain't started the process, I ain't finna be.
That's
the
what
one
I
to
mean.
lead
Like,
you.
you gotta be.
Okay,
you gotta be someone in the process. You can't sell me no dream. Dog. Like, come on, dog. Like that ain't how I go. But at the same time, I can see your actions, right?
Of course.
For instance, I met my wife in college, right?
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, she going to nursing school. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what she gonna do 10 years down the road. Straight up. You feel me? But you already taking those steps. I see. You feel me? Like to progress. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a couple of things. Right? If she start a business, we'll do that. Like, I know some little things on that side. You feel me? Or interactions with family. Yeah. You feel me? Like, how do you interact with the people around you? Yeah. I can see how you interact with your family. Yeah. You feel how you show them love. When you come back to the city, you around your family. So you're family oriented. These are the bases you doing now. I can see like we just growing there. Gotcha. You feel what I'm saying?
And then ultimately, I'm taking from what you all are saying, it's going to take some vulnerability. It's going to take because
no man likes to be vulnerable.
No man. Well, I ain't going to say just men, just women either. What woman is going to be an open book initially saying, "Well, I had these traumas. I don't like my daddy." This blah blah. So it's going to take vulnerability on both sides into picking a mate and looking to it. So
understood.
Good.
Any other questions from the audience?
Yeah, I got one more.
Okay.
So with what Brother Wright just said, how, to what degree are men obligated to circumstantial relationships?
I mean, bros. I mean, elaborate on it if you want to.
If you commit, all right. So it's about the commitment, right? Nobody just go into jump blind. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all talk about it and everything that y'all got going. So more than likely, like the man is the leader of the relationship. You ain't gonna be one unless you declare it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just the reality of it. So once you start creating the monster you create, you have to also take the responsibility that you created within her. If you have these habits up front, but now you're the successful man, she met you when you was broke. She's still expecting your broke habit. She didn't meet you when you were rich, so she doesn't know your rich habits yet. You know what I'm saying? So she has to also adapt and go through.
Yeah.
Man, it's just because I'd have been through a player. I've been on real, dog.
I knew you were gonna hit it from a whole different angle for real.
And like, again, it's just that accountability of being the man and knowing what you're getting yourself into. In my opinion though, man.
And like you said, accountability. That's the big word, man. When you're in a situation, you gotta have some accountability. You got into that. Nobody ain't put no gun to your head. You made that decision.
You saw the narcissism. You saw the tendencies,
but you chose to ignore it and go for it. Yeah. So I mean, it takes accountability.
That's real. Man, hey, listen. I think that's all the questions from the audience. I think it was a great discussion. I definitely got some things I'm gonna take away. So
for sure.
I appreciate both you gentlemen joining us. This is gonna wrap up the Purple and Gold Table Talk, and see y'all next time.
Adios.